All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the inaugural episode of Text Adventure Book Club, the Text Adventure podcast. How's everybody doing? I am the host of the show for now, at least, until somebody kicks me out and I get arrested.
Yeah.
I am a professional bookseller. I've been in the book industry for 20 years, if you can believe it.
Studied with the ancient masters.
I studied the scrolls. I have learned the art book selling from James Patterson and Stephen King. We are going to focus on books about gaming, video gaming, life with video games, the creation of video games, and I can imagine we will probably maybe branch off into some other nerd cultural sort of stuff.
Hentai.
Eventually, yeah, maybe. Who knows? We'll see how it goes. We'll see what companies want to sponsor us. Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I got a great book on hentai. If you, we'll talk off mic. I am Dan Bettel, a university professor of English, specifically rhetoric and composition. I also have been making independent comic books. For 18 years now, and
Wow.
yeah, and just here to keep everything elevated. That's I feel that's my job. Just kind of make sure you guys don't lower yourselves too much. And so that's why at the end of every episode, I'm giving you all a grade.
Don't blow your back out. That's some heavy lifting.
Dan is the adult in the room at all times. Going around the room, we've got Rock. How's it going?
Oh, hi. Hey, how are you? I'm doing
Rock.
great. I've known these guys for about 400 years now.
Give or take.
Yeah. I don't work in books. I work in science. I'm a lab science man. But I like books, and I like reading books, and I like video games. So I feel like this is a good place for me.
I will say that Rock has one of the best collections of Dritz. Is that his name?
Oh, that guy. Yeah,
Oh,
Dritz.
boy.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Stacks and stacks of those in your old bedroom.
Salvatore.
Yeah. All right, Salvatore. Yeah, I had a ton of those. Really like, that's really where I go. That's the really high-minded, really deep intellectual stuff that I really like to cling to.
There's
there.
nothing wrong with that. What they told me.
Wow.
You
that-
are great. Yeah.
That's what Reggie Fils-Aimé taught me.
ever. in
Also,
any-
Rock, you had a wonderful collection. Was it EGM?
No, GMR.
GMR.
Yeah. I had I think the entire collection of GMR, which isn't saying much because it only ran for like 2 years or something.
No,
But
it was way more issues than
No,
that,
it
wasn't
was.
it?
It was.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was. But it didn't last very long. But yeah, that was like still to this day, my favorite gaming magazine. I actually think that I was able to find somewhere in the ether, someone had like scanned PDFs of every single issue, and I think I have that on a hard drive somewhere. So
Wow.
yeah,
They're putting out an EGM compendium. Like they just kickstarted it, and it's a huge
really?
like coffee table hardcover.
Yeah,
It's got high quality scans of articles. I don't think it's every article, but I think it's like the best of the best. And
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that when that comes out.
Think it'll have the
And then
ads?
finally sitting in today, we've got Mr. Patrick Rock. How's it going?
Hey,
Oh man,
there's the energy we need.
fan. Always
right.
wanted to be on the podcast.
That's right.
this is our
First
game
time.
dad.
First time. Right?
Yeah, first timer.
Pat, what's your relationship with books? Have you ever worked with books? What do you
Can't
like to
read.
read? Okay. So he'll be our audiobook correspondent.
Pat's father was a book. He left at an early age.
Yeah, I was born from a book. I don't know. I've read similar to Rock some like fantasy over the years. Nothing scholarly or academic, but I don't know.
Don't sell
I'll go
yourself
to
short. You've
Wikipedia
definitely-
many times a
Definitely
day.
read some books I've gotten you and
Yeah,
some sci-fi
Yeah.
books and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
no, I've got some books. Lots of Pratchett.
You love to buy beautiful video game books
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
you might look at once or twice and put on your shelf.
Yeah, they're heavy when you pack them away, and then
Mhm.
forget about them
It's really great when you have to move, huh?
All those
when the
bitmap
power goes out.
books, those compendiums that you got.
Mhm.
Those are
Yeah,
awesome books.
yeah. And there's that one really cool like Sega arcade pop-up book I picked up one time. That one's pretty
Oh
neat.
shit, I don't think I've ever
With
seen
like,
that.
yeah, it's got like they constructed little pop-up arcade
Like cabinets?
replicas of the cabinets, like like Space Harrier and all their big ones. Like
Oh, that's
I
cool as
can't
hell.
remember the names, but like there was a racing game. I don't know if it was Outrun.
Outrun.
Maybe it was Outrun. There's Afterburner. Yeah, I'll have to take some pictures or send a link or something. It was a fan made thing, but they think they got the license.
Wow, that's awesome.
Since that's the one you focused on, the pop-up book, is that also an indication of your reading level at this point? Is like mostly focused around pop-up books, and that's what you want us to assign?
It's probably pretty
Yeah.
enticing. Should I see
Maybe
a
maybe
pop-up
have a
book?
pull tab on there so it can wiggle around or something. I don't know.
No,
You know,
no, man.
Pat
It's those books with the buttons down the side. You
that
press
play
the
the
button, it
sounds.
makes a sound. Yeah, yeah.
Pat's lack of reading level brings me to some stats I had looked up before the show
Ooh.
started here.
Oh yeah?
I like podcasting with you guys. It's fun to get together and talk.
Yeah.
We had a video game news and reviews podcast for years.
What are you talking about? We still do. That thing still exists.
Wanted to get back into podcasting, and I was thinking, do they really need another video game news and reviews weekly show? It's probably not necessary.
Right.
In these trying times, but something that I think is a cool intersection of all of our interests: reading, video games, books, video games, dudes hanging out. I think there's something there, and I looked up some stats. I work in books. I've worked in books decades, and I see every day that do not feel comfortable in bookstores or in libraries or book adjacent spaces, which I think comes from maybe a little bit of pretentiousness in the book industry itself, maybe a little bit of gatekeeping.
Sure.
But I've worked in books. I've never read Moby Dick. I've never read Last of the Mohegans.
Right.
And I think there is a good amount of the population out there of people who would read, who have these interests, but they think, man, books are not for me. And that led me to these stats here, which I have. National Endowment of the Arts, which is a real thing. These are real scientists, theoretically. 54% of Americans read below a sixth grade level. 70% of men have read in the past year. 80% of women. At the minimum, there's 20% of people out there who are just not reading.
Right.
Like anything. Only the percent of men who read fiction is 27.7%.
Wow, that's weird.
Crazy.
Well, and I'm baffled that you could go through life without even like accidentally reading something.
Right.
Like something crosses your eyeballs, at some point. I don't know.
Right, just like an article or something. I think
Yeah.
I think the death of the magazine industry has had a lot to do with it.
Sure.
Dudes maybe in the past would pick up Men's Health or GQ or Fire or something.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
those don't really exist. We don't even sell magazines in our store anymore.
Oh, really?
For the problem. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
really?
Yeah, so
Yes.
it's partially your fault then.
It is. So unless you're seeking out something like McSweeney's, let's say.
Right.
Recoil magazine.
And what's the percentage of people that are going to put effort into that? It's 27.7%.
I would also maybe just, if we zoom the camera out a little bit, I think a part of this can be ascribed to just to quote a major industry faux pas from let's just say 10 years, the pivot to video and audio for a lot of stuff, right? So a lot of people,
Sure.
I think a lot more people are listening and watching and getting information that way. But I think the other thing that I think you pointed out, whether it's gatekeeping or just availability, whether it's in stock, I don't think a lot of I would bet a lot of gamers don't even know that there are a lot of books about games or about
Totally.
people that play games or about the history of games, that they just think that, any book out there about video games is about reading about how to program, and I don't want to do that either. I just want to play Madden every week, right? Or whatever.
Or ranking the best Pokemon or something.
Right, right. Yeah, book of listicles. That sounds
Right.
fun.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I think one of the things, well, I was really happy that you brought this up, is just about increasing awareness. Not that any of us has a huge reach, but hopefully together discussing it, getting it out there, people listening and sharing it can not just necessarily share our points of view. Those don't really matter, but at least making people aware, like, oh, there are books that are substantive, that are interesting, that are things that I would like to sit down with maybe an hour a day or on the weekends and actually read and get information from. That also, I think, pulls us a lot from, I think the majority of quote unquote reading that people do is what I would call, in my day job, discourse-based reading, which is just conversation, right? Social media and just hot takes and all that stuff.
Sure.
Stuff that maybe podcasts we've all been on in the past have focused on, instead of actual like substantive information sharing and growing your knowledge base so that you can add something to whatever conversation you come across. And so for that, I'm really excited about that, and especially about the first book we've decided to read as well.
That's right. And, looking into launching this podcast, we had a lot of time spent coming up with a name,
Yep.
making sure that it wasn't already taken.
I still
And
think we should have gone with Page Master.
Lord, I'm still proud of Lore Dump, but
No, it's good.
well.
Yes, but researching those things, a few of these names, Lore Dump, Read Only Memories, whatever, those were taken, but not by any sort of book club about video games. That
Right.
sort of thing does not exist. If you're somebody out there looking for a like-minded group, or you just want to say, hey, man, I read a book about video game. Has anybody talked about this? That sort of community is not out there as much as, it may be for the romantasy of the world, which is like the hot new thing. Or, World War II. There's tons of World War II book clubs.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if we wanted to launch a World War II book club, it would get lost in the ether. But looking into launching a video game book-related podcast, there's almost nothing. And I think that there is some value in that.
100% agree.
Brought us to our first book.
Yeah.
So our first book is Good Game, No Rematch by Mike Drucker. Mike Drucker is a comedian, an author. I think we all kind of tangentially are aware of him from when Twitter used to be good. He had a very good Twitter account. He's written articles for giantbomb.com. He's been on SNL. He's been on The Tonight Show. And I have a note here from his publicist that I'm just going to read a little bit from here. Mike does something so incredible throughout every story. He weaves comedy, nostalgia, and heartfelt narratives, creating the perfect fabric of a memoir that will leave you feeling like you just stepped into your favorite childhood video game. Each chapter focuses on a different game that influenced his life. Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, Dance Dance Revolution, reminding us of the power of video games and the role they play in our world. Which, I mean, if you're going to launch a book club about video games, you probably want to start where I think all of us started, Mario Brothers, right?
That's true for me, yeah.
Dan, you may have had Pong.
Oh yeah, being 800 years old as I am, yeah. No, I mean, I will say, I think my first foray into video gaming was I was given a Commodore 64 with no instruction. So like, I think I had games, I had a joystick, but I didn't know how to make any of it go. And my mom had no idea how that worked. She just said, "Look, video games." I'm like, "This is abuse. Like, stop."
She locked your cage and went to work.
Yeah.
She's like, video games.
We had a Commodore as well, and my dad would come home with like new pirated floppy disks of games. Like
Shit.
I think my brother still has like the case of them.
And you were
and
able
I
to play
still
them?
remember. Yeah, I still remember like the command line to load the games.
Must
'Cause it
be
was
nice.
Universal. Yeah, sorry. That's about where mine started.
Yeah.
With this too, but I mean, Mario was obviously like the big one.
Yeah, the NES was definitely where I consider the beginning of my journey for sure.
I mean, the NES growing up in the 80s and 90s seemed almost standard issue, right?
Right.
Like if you didn't have it, somebody you knew had it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
that was
You're
my
poor.
experience. Was it I had to, like, I mean, number one, we were poor, but also I just had parents who just didn't really believe in video games. Like they believe they existed, of course, but
That would have been a better story.
Video game truthers.
I know. But yeah, it was just like other kids can have them, but not not you. So like
Wow.
for the first probably I don't know, handful of years anyway, my only experiences with video games was playing them at other people's houses or playing them in the arcade or something like that. So yeah, my history with video games is a lot different, I think.
What was your first home console?
It was a Sega Genesis that I
Okay.
got for my birthday the year my parents got divorced, and those two things are almost certainly connected.
Incredible.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, it came with Sonic 2, and
Yep.
my uncle got me the Jurassic Park game as well.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
nice.
Those are
Yeah,
two good
Yeah,
ones to
that's solid.
yeah,
work through a
those were
divorce with.
yeah, those were pretty great. Yeah. But yeah, that was it. And for years that was all I had. Like through the PlayStation era, through the N64 era. Yeah, like all I had was a Sega Genesis. I didn't get another console until like the year 2001 or something.
Okay.
Did something tragic and traumatic happen in 2001 that got your parents to buy you another console?
Turned
know
on
what?
the news. It was like, God damn it, I need a PS2.
9/11 happened, and here's a PlayStation kid. No, actually, you know what, Dan? I never connected those events, but yes, I'm not going to go into it. But yes, actually, but no, I was
Damn.
in between. I was doing like PC gaming and stuff, so
Okay.
I was playing like Half-Life and like Diablo and stuff like that on a PC that could barely handle it.
Nice.
But yeah.
You still predominantly are on PC.
Yeah. I think the last time my PlayStation 4 was turned on for a game is probably maybe the year 2024, 23 maybe.
I had one of the first PCs. Like he got one of those giant shareware packages that they sold at like Sam's
Mhm.
Club,
Oh, yes.
and he would play Doom so much that he would like get tunnel vision and like lose sight in his eyes.
Jesus.
My mom had to take it away from him.
Oh my god.
That's a reoccurring story, isn't it?
Yeah,
Wow.
there's a lot of self-inflicted injuries there, but
Man.
yeah,
Was yours an NES as well? Would you consider that your starting point, Chris?
I definitely had an Atari. I have
Oh,
memories
wow.
of
Mhm.
having an Atari.
Yeah.
It must have been a hand-me-down, and it disappeared pretty quickly because I know that we got an NES by 1990, and we also had one of those carts that had Mario's face on it and had like little cubby holes for your games and shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you see them now, they're like $200, $300. It was like a little rickety, plywood thing, officially licensed by Nintendo. And I have distinct memories of the NES on that Mario Kart, and standing next to the TV with the light gun.
I don't think I've ever seen this thing that you're talking about, this shelf.
Really?
Yeah. Again, my history is weird with video game stuff. I had posters of games I had never even played. So yeah, I never.
Oh,
I
man.
never heard this thing.
Chained in the basement, not allowed to see
Yeah.
the sun.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
Altered Beast. What is this?
Yeah. I remember at the foot of my bed, I had a poster of this game called Subterranean. I think it was an NES game. It seemed like it was like kind of like a Metroidvania. I'm not sure.
I think it was Genesis.
Never played it. Never saw it.
Yeah.
played. Don't know where I got the
Oh.
poster.
I mean,
Oh,
not to like pirate what we might talk about in the episode, but you bring up something that Mike talks about in the books, which is like poring over magazines, looking at screenshots, and just being like,
Mhm.
if I could actually see this in person, like I would finally be free or something, right? Like it was just like there's just nothing but potential. Looking at these teeny tiny screenshots in a catalog or magazine, going like, wow, this looks like the most impressive thing ever.
I still want a Falcon Northwest desktop computer. I don't know if anyone else had come across those
Oh, that sounds vaguely familiar.
magazine ads. It was like a mail order PCs.
What was different about it?
I didn't have a PC. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I didn't get one until like late 90s, I think, in our house.
Ours was a Packard Bell. Packard Bell with Windows 3.1.
Yeah,
And
like
then
I remember. Oh, I was just gonna say, like I remember like some of the earliest PC games I played were like those old like epic mega games sharewares, like like Jill of the Jungle and like Zargon and stuff like that.
Yep.
Like yeah,
there was so many of those shitty
Was that-
PC demos in those boxes.
but
Yeah, right.
but like to kind of to Dan's point and Chris's point, like not really knowing about like books about video games, or like this intersection.
Mhm.
Like I definitely fall into that camp of people who had like no knowledge of that intersection, like
Mhm.
that kind of book existed. Like to me, for ages and ages, a video game book or a book about video games was more of just like a narrative, like in the world of a game.
Right.
Sure.
Nothing about like a person's like personal relationship with gaming or anything like not something that I really ever knew about before.
And maybe some of that is because people of our age are just coming to the point where they write these sort of books.
Sure.
Oh,
I mean,
that's a really good point.
thinking about like, when I started at Barnes and Noble in the early 2000s, every memoir was about growing up in the 60s. And now it's just the point where people who grew up in the 80s, 90s, like Mike Drucker, have written these books, and video games are just kind of always there in their life. It's not like, oh man, I played NES. I was the biggest fucking nerd in the world. Every kid
Yeah.
had NES in your school, in your elementary school.
Yeah.
So, playing games was just kind of a thing that you did as a kid growing up. You didn't really have to seek them out. They kind of found you.
Yeah, and especially with the, what do you want to call it? The, not democratization, but like just the general acceptance of quote unquote nerd. Let's just say the monetization of nerd culture that's happened in the last 20 years, right? With the rise of Marvel and all that shit. We've been hearing more interviews with like movie directors that are making capital F films and stuff, who said like, oh yeah, I was super inspired by like Silent Hill or whatever. Like yeah, just the general acceptance of nerdy stuff, I think, is also infiltrating sort of the quote unquote like higher class, or like more, like, what do you want to call it? Like more thoughtful creations, like writing novels or writing histories or making like films and stuff like that, that people,
So,
you can mention that stuff without shame,
literature with a capital L.
Indeed, indeed, yeah. I guess another thing maybe I want to know is, and it'd be good for like a little, introductory episode, is like, has anybody here, I'm guessing yes for most of us, read any like video game books? Because Rock was talking about that a little bit, like novelizations set in the book. But what books have you read, or at the very least, what's like maybe the best video game adjacent book you've read that we can just kind of throw out here as recommendations for people getting into it?
Oh my God.
Oh.
I already had an answer for this question. I didn't know you were going to ask this question, but
Great.
so when I was younger, I used to walk to the mall and go to my local bookstore and just see what they had. And I'm strolling through and I see Doom, not Frank Herbert's Doom, like id Software, and I'm like,
Sure, Doom guy.
There's a book about Doom. Like what the fuck? And so not only was there one, I think there were like two or three of them, and I read the shit out of those, and they were I'm sure they don't hold up now, but like it was actually like really surprising that they took a relatively thin premise, that is the story, so quote unquote, of Doom,
Right.
and made like a full like thing out of it, like the main character, he's got this crazy backstory, and it's just this guy's like they really like personalized this guy's journey of like being stranded on Mars with like nothing and trying to like survive and encountering all this weird alien shit, and he does, and demonic shit, and he like doesn't know what any of it, like they made this like really amazing story out of it that was like really surprising to me. And it I don't know, it's kind of weird, but like it kind of made playing the game like way more enjoyable to me. Like just knowing like, oh yeah, this is what, okay, yeah, like I kind of like know what the character is experiencing here or feeling or thinking here when he first
Right.
encounters that weird blue glowing orb with a face on it, that kind of thing. It was
Do you remember if this was more towards the game, or was it maybe tied into that movie with The Rock?
no, it was way before the
Way
movie.
before that? Okay.
Yeah, it was probably like mid to late 90s.
Okay.
Yeah. I think like I tried to look them up a while ago because I think they went back into print around the time when like Doom 3 came out. They
Sure.
like made new covers for them and stuff to kind of like match that art.
They added
Mhm.
flashlights into the novels.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, really cool, really great novels. I would highly recommend. They're super easy reading, but they're really fun. If you can find them, definitely check them out. I think the author's name is Brad Lineweaver or something like that, and Dafydd Abhue, I think was the other guy's name. Yeah,
It's nice to know the motivation for ripping and tearing.
this is before. Yeah, I guess. I mean, he's a scared man. You know,
Mhm.
that's really what you learn
I
about
get that.
Doom
Yeah.
Guy. He's a really frightened man who's
You
just
don't think
doing,
of the internal turmoil of Doom Guy.
I know that, and that's what's so like mind blowing about those books is that I gave zero thought to what that guy's just a face at the bottom of my screen that tells me how low my health is,
Mhm.
and a little hand, holding a gun. But it was just so impressive to me how much of a story they made out of that, and that it was kind of all right.
Back in the old days, I think all of us were super into Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
And Mass Effect had some really, really good tie-in novels come out right around, I want to say, the time period between 2 and 3. And, as cool as the Mass Effect world is, I think those novels really fit in there in an interesting way. If they had zigged when they zagged, I think Mass Effect could have been huge property. Not Star Wars, not Star Trek, but
Babylon
better,
5 level is what we're talking about here.
like an Amazon limited series kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's a shame that they killed sort of that whole ecosystem that they had created there.
And now I'm sad because that hits hard. Yeah, you're totally right. There's so much lore and just like amazing potential for stories there, and they just shat it.
I've got a lot of like more, they're more like encyclopedia style books.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
like you mentioned, collection of types of games and that kind of thing. More picture books. I remember like when after Oblivion, there was like a pair of Elder Scrolls novels that came out. I was like, oh, I'll read those. And purchased one, and I think I fell off that really quick for just. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not that interested in the story of these games. Actually,
Right.
it's a little dry.
Yeah, right. I think you bring up a good point. I think a lot of gamers, when they think of like talking about video game books, they might think novelizations. They might think sort of like you said, encyclopedia style books, and then art books, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't think like sort of the critical writing that we're talking about, either history or personal background, like with the Drucker book, or examining the creation of games and stuff like that. They just don't know that those are out there, like you were saying earlier. Yeah,
I would say
um,
I've only seen that stuff in the past maybe 5 years or so,
sure.
maybe 5 to 8 years. I think Jason Shear
Yeah, Shire. Yeah.
Shire has been a leading force in that. His book,
Yes. Yep.
he just wrote a book about Blizzard Activision,
Mm-hmm.
and he's one of those guys who is doing capital J journalism.
Yeah.
Still,
I would say also the British writer Mike Diver has written a lot of really good books about games. He was a journalist as well. Worked for Vice before Vice Gaming became Waypoint.
Mhm.
Then it stopped being anyway. He's written like a book about indie games. I think about the history of the consoles or something like that too. He's a really good writer, really readable. I have one on my shelf here. Hold on, I was not prepared for this.
Great.
He has one just called Indie Games. That's a fantastic kind of overview of just sort of the history of independent video game development. I would recommend quite a bit.
That's awesome.
If there's anybody listening that's also interested in getting into maybe sort of this more historical, critical look at video games, I would definitely recommend. Although it's a very hit and miss, but there's a company called Boss Fight Books.
Love them.
They make books about single games. They're generally really short and really readable, and most of them contain a nice blend between sort of like the writer's personal story and actually sort of, I'm not going to say necessarily always investigative journalism, but definitely some sort of historical research. But the great ones like actually get interviews with developers, which I think is really important now, especially for NES era, Super NES era, because a lot of those people are retiring and or dying. And the people behind Boss Fight Books are doing a really good job just kind of getting this stuff recorded, like I said, to varying quality. But it's an incredible place to start, and the books are pretty cheap. You can get them as PDFs or ebooks, as well as physical copies. And
I think
yeah,
it's
I can't.
almost a certainty that we will do a boss fight book here and there
Yeah, yeah,
because they just have such an expansive library. They're
Yeah.
so easy, and like you said, they're cheap. And sometimes they're free in those humble bundles. All right, everybody, that brings us to the end of episode 0 of the Text Adventure podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. You can email us at adventurebookclub@gmail.com. Let us know what you're reading. You think we should read? Google Play Cards. I need those.
Are we
Let's
still
finish
asking
off.
for erotic fan fiction, or is that still the other?
I think too early for that. Too early for that, right now.
Yeah, people have to get to know us first.
Right.
Build up some lore internally.
Yeah.
So before we head out, why don't we go around the room, talk about what we are playing, what we're seeing, what we're watching. I've been super sucked into, and I always say the name wrong. Is it Balatro or Baltaro?
Elatro, I think.
Yeah,
Okay.
Balatro. Or Balatro, if you will. I don't know. I think
I've spent hundreds of hours in this goddamn game.
great game.
I don't play cards. I don't know the rules of poker. I can barely do math, but something about this game has just absolutely sucked its claws into me. And I actually listened to Mike Drucker's book on audio as I was playing the game. So it just washed over me.
That's pretty powerful too. Like the image of it sucking its claws through you is crazy. That
Those
description.
jokers get fucked up.
I think Danny O'Dwyer on his No Clip podcast interviewed the Balatro guy. If you want to hear sort of the story behind that.
Pat told me that guy famously does not know how to play poker either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, what about you? What you got going on?
Work has been busy, but the thing that has been consuming all my time is Ghost of Yote. It's just my jam, and so I just can't wait to go back there and just stand on cliff faces and look at pretty vistas, chop some bamboo, and chop up some bad guys. So
The Go series is one of the best looking feeling games I've played in a long time.
Yeah, I loved Ghost of Tsushima, and I actually was kind of skeptical about this game, but I love the angle they've taken. I like the tweaks they've made to the combat and just the gameplay and the world around it. It's just fascinating and wonderful. I love it.
And Dan, I know you also have a comic series that just
do.
started its final season.
Yeah, you can find my comic at Long John at longjohncomic.com. It's an existential western about a cowboy who gets his clothes stolen. He has to figure out why they do it, how they do it, and how does he get his stuff back. Chapter 6, the final chapter, it just started updating on October 27th. The whole thing is available to read online for free. Again, at longjohncomic.com.
Awesome. Pat, what do you got going on?
I mean, they keep cycling through the same things again. Like I've told you guys, like I keep playing Last of Us 2 over and over again. I get out of the loop. And other than that, like,
Do you play it up to a point and then restart?
no, just all the way through, which is
Okay.
mad because it's a very long game.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a linear game, right? You're not making different choices.
Not really. No, nothing's going to affect the story.
Okay.
And it's not
you
like
can you can murder people in different ways.
Yeah, like more efficiently. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's not like I plan to like speed run this game at some point. I'm not gaining any skill out of it. So I don't know. It just has it's not the gameplay. It's similar to like Alan Wake 1.
Mhm.
It's just like the sense of place that it produces is just, I don't know. It really clicks with me.
100%. Yeah.
I just installed a mod for Skyrim that
Yes.
it introduces your a companion Dagoth who there's plenty of videos, mimetic stuff that's passing around that give you a good idea of why anyone would want that.
Dagoth and Marcus are neck and neck for my favorite characters.
Yeah, really. Other than that, like 2 kids and just trying to find things to do with them, like or media for them to take on. I mean, I can watch however much of Miss Rachel I can do with that. That's good. But then I discovered recently there's this. It was a comic I think out of Finland. It's called Moomin Valley, and I only recently heard of this, but apparently, like even back in the 90s, or it dates back to the 40s or 50s.
Yeah, super
as
old.
a comic, and then in the 90s, if there's a very like Ghibli style, actually like Japanese animated show.
Yeah,
that was based on these stories, and it's got that kind of like no stakes, low drama. I don't know. It's like easy.
Yeah.
It feels good to have my kids watch, and that's been neat. Discovering all this Moomin Valley stuff. It's really neat. I would
That's
recommend anyone check it out. Yeah, that's about it. Various
Rock, what
stuff.
about you? What you got? What you into? Raising kids,
Yeah,
buying
yeah,
houses.
yeah. Raising kids, buying houses, where I can. I'm, playing a couple of games here and there. I just recently finished Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was just incredible. The places that story went, it was amazing, start to finish. And most recently, I've been kind of like skipping kind of like I've been working through the Mass Effect Legendary Edition. If you guys remember,
Mhm.
way back in the day of the old show, I had said at some point, if they ever re-release this trilogy in HD, like I will buy it, I will play it. I love that series, and of course they did. So basically, I've been going through and I'll do Mass Effect 1, finish that, play some other game, come back, Mass Effect 2,
Mhm.
finish.
Yeah.
So I've just started Mass Effect 3, and I'm really not far into it. I'm like just to Palaven, I think, where I'm trying to save the Turian guy. But
Did did they change each of the games to be more like Mass Effect 3, like gameplay wise, or is it just the
um,
graphical?
so they've done like little changes here and there. Obviously, like the older you go, the fewer changes there are. So like Mass Effect 1,
Mhm.
really they kind of just like cleaned up the interface, made the
Mm.
inventory less of a pain in the ass. They had like some like gameplay enhancements that kind of make it lean a little bit more toward 3, but not as much. It still mostly plays like Mass Effect 1.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And 2, same thing. It's like a little bit more changes, but a lot of it's just been more like it looks nicer, and they removed some or fixed some like kind of stupid or like troublesome puzzles that were like didn't really make sense at the time.
Did
But
they
yeah,
add all the DLC?
yeah, all the
Oh,
DLC
cool.
is there. Yeah, which was really cool. I,
They
I
added a
remember.
CG Jabba the Hutt for some reason.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah.
Holding a walkie-talkie.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been really cool just going back through those. I mean, I haven't played Mass Effect 3 since it first came out, way
Sure.
back when. And it having played through that whole series and really enjoying it back then. I'll admit there's definitely like an emotional connection. Like the first time Garrus shows back up in Mass
Yeah.
Effect 3, you're like, ah, my God, like you can't,
Mhm.
yeah, you can't help it. It's great. It's really fantastic. So yeah.
And that those elephant guys, what were they called?
Oh,
They talk their feelings. They say their
oh,
feelings before
That's
they
right.
talk.
That's right.
yeah, they're not Elcor.
Actually, they might be.
They might be Elcor.
Those were my
Or
favorite.
who are the little tiny guys? The little teeny tiny potbelly dudes.
The guys that
God,
were
those
around
were-
fixing stuff, or
No,
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 no, no.
no.
Yeah.
I thought those were Elcor.
Man.
I don't remember. But yeah, those guys are hilarious. You remember they had like that kind of like like in-game gag that there was the show Blasto, and it was like the little like weird jellyfish guy who they always refer to themselves in the
No.
third person. Yeah, it's like this whole like you'll hear like ads for it on the Citadel, and it's supposed to be this like hard-boiled like detective drama show, but the main character is played by one of those jellyfish dude. So it's like it's so funny. Yeah. And later on in Mass Effect 3, he gets a partner, and his partner is one of those guys who can only speak his emotions. Um, look into it. It's magic.
So here's the $1 million question. Does that include Andromeda?
No, it does not.
Oh,
I still have not played Andromeda.
me
Actually,
neither. I own it. I
I'm
never played it.
morbidly curious, but I still have not played it.
It can't be that bad.
Not anymore. I mean, I'm sure as
Right.
patches and stuff,
Right.
it has to have improved
I enjoyed it for what it was.
what could have been
Mhm.
as far as expanding the lore of Mass Effect. Like you take this whole other thing, like this takes place I think after 2, right? After Mass Effect
Right.
2, like oh yeah, here's this thing that you didn't really hear about in the original series, but this whole other mission that is just basically like a contingency plan. What if Shepard fails? and we just need to bug out. Like that's such a cool idea and a great example of how they could have really like expanded on Mass Effect, and they just
I had no idea that that was the plot of Andromeda.
Oh yeah, that's the entire thing. They're basically
Mhm.
like we need a side we need a plan B in case just fighting the Reapers doesn't work out. So they literally just send a ship to the Andromeda galaxy
Right.
with the intention of finding inhabitable worlds there in
Right.
case humanity just needs to run.
Right. Well, in each species sent a ship, and part of
Right.
the surprise is that not all of them make it.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Our next episode will be a full length discussion of Mike Drucker's book, Good Game, No Rematch. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time.
Books.
Video games.
Books and video games.
No, I'm gonna stop.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Bye.